Take a look at this monster of an AC. This is a General Electric high thin line from, this one here is probably, I'd say 1960 to 1963, because, and it's the only thing I slam them for or criticize them for in this particular unit is their utilization of a rotary compressor instead of a reciprocating compressor. But it's a GE rotary, so it's at least has its head above the well shit. Thing's foaming pretty good, providing it was already cleaned a while back. I had the real grill cleaning up. I have to find the freaking GE badge for it, but if I find it, John, I'll give it to you. But the customer that wants this one probably ain't really going to give a fuck, providing he wants it all brown anyway, so you can't see it from the outside. Kind of sacrilege to me to not be able to see it, but it's not going to my house, so who am I to judge? The case for it's right there. I gotta get that cleaned up, so that'll get a nice coat of brown. This Chrysler Airtemp cleaning up for a co-worker. All it needs is the new capacitor. It's ready to go. She's got a full charge in her. So does this. This thing will actually blow ice cubes out. So I gotta straighten up the drain tube and then drill a couple more drain holes. There's where it comes out, it looks like right there. So yeah, we'll get her cleaned up, do a drain hole mod on it, make sure it's ready to go for God knows how much longer. Hopefully a long time. The thing that's funny about this is it utilizes a regular condenser, or a regular evaporator coil, spine fin condenser coil, and some kind of weird zigzag type condenser coil for the bottom part, similar to the one my Admiral has. Why they didn't go all spine fin, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna get this hosed off. And John, all I gotta do is throw that coat of oil-based Rust-Oleum all over the bottom and any part that could get wet. And yeah, I'm gonna call this a project. Get it rust-proof, or as rust-proof as I can for you. Make it nice and shiny. Get that coat of brown paint on it for you. Make the rear grille look pretty. What I have of the front grille look pretty. I got the wheel discharge vents for you. But I do not have the intake grill. But that's okay because you do. So yeah, beautiful unit. Otherwise, it's in really good shape for a high thin line. Usually these are rotted out pretty good. That's one thing about GEs. GEs love to rust. Them and that fucking slinger wheel. Condensation drain right out. Period. I don't want to hear any exceptions. Now, GE units were engineered, I'm convinced, by a mad scientist. But look at the massive size of those loops of that evaporator. And look at the freaking insane, intricate build quality on it. Now, it would appear, I thought this at first might have been splashed from somebody else painting or something like that. Not that I could figure out how it could get in there to begin with, but upon further examination, it looks like these chassis were originally orange before they put the final coat on there. And I don't know if this is like a layer of rust prevention. Ken Horon would be the one to ask about that. We'll have to let this sit for a day or so before I fire it up because it is soaked. I'm gonna drill a drain hole right there, one here, and one here, just to have all the bases covered. And we should be in pretty good business at that point. And look at how cool this shield looks. It's like a tie-dye. It's a plastic tie-dye shield. I don't know if that was done on purpose or if they were switching over from black to white because they ran out of the whatever resin they were using for the injection mold. It's a 9500 BTU model. Most of that got wiped off the last time we new brighted it a couple years back. So I was originally got these from somebody else to fix up, but they ended up replacing them anyway. Yeah. John, I'm sure I'll send you a link to the video, so I'm sure you'll see it. John also has another unit that I really fancy. It's the original Sears cold spot that I'm looking for it was made from 1958 to 1961 or 62 before they switched over to the pull down fronts. I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass because I leave every casement I find, I leave behind. I don't even pick them up. I don't like them. I don't like the tall slider ones, and I really don't like the casement ones. But unfortunately, that's what he's looking for. So I got to find him one to trade for the cold spot. God, I hate them things. I hate those even more than I hate rotary compressors. Although I do make a an exception for the General Electrics. I do. They're good rotary compressors, and some of them actually sound pretty close to a recip, actually. So yeah, it's got to rust proof this pan, let this dry out for a couple of days, and I gotta get the case for it done, sand it down, make it nice and smooth, make it look pretty. I'm gonna give John a call actually, and see if he has to have it brown, or if he would be willing to go a dark green on it. Either way, I'll make it happen the way he wants it. It's going in his house, so yeah. Now I know we're flip-flopping around a little bit. I have a tendency to do that a lot, but I'm doing 2 units at one time, so I may as well do the videos together. This styrofoam piece just kind of sits on there. I think it's clamped down when you put the outer case on. It's a pretty simple unit. They jam-packed a lot of shit into a small chassis. It's 8,000 BTUs with constant run. A buddy of mine has to turn their shed into a small butcher shop, so they want something to keep the room nice and cold while they're in there working. I told him if he's planning on using it as a refrigerator, it's not going to work. I don't know why so many guys around here in Schuylkill County think you can do that. They think you can make one of these, get the building down to like the 30s or 40s. It's not going to happen. The evaporator is going to freeze every time. Not going to happen. But yeah, that's just 6 screws, 3 on each side. Case lifts directly up. The rear grille with the Pentastar is held on by 1 screw, but unfortunately it's rusted. I'm trying to get it off without breaking it because I want to redo that badge on it. These are really easy units to restore, and if they're working, they're really reliable. I haven't had too much luck with them, unfortunately, but this thing, like I said, this thing here is hitting something. I can't tell what, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. I'll get it cleaned up the best I can. Look at that, how it just comes right off. It's literally taking the paint. It was better action a couple minutes ago. I was really getting, I got the whole bottom just peel off. Yeah, try to get the rest of it. I'll bring the sander out if I have to. This thing here is pretty nasty too. Now I should do these in separate videos. I'm not going to. I'm not going to edit much. I'm not really into that. The extent of my editing is getting like 3 or 4 clips like this, or sometimes more than 3 or 4 clips, putting in the iMovie on my phone, exporting as one long file. I started this YouTube channel for fun, more or less, and that's about the extent of it. I never really planned on being serious about it, although it took off a lot better in the last couple of years than I thought it ever would, and I'm very grateful for that, but I have no intention on doing this full time. Now, this is an 8,000 BTU model on 115 volts, 1,330 watts, 11 amps, so it's a little bit power hungry, but this thing's probably putting out closer to 10 or 11,000 BTUs. These are all insanely underrated and conservative. They almost always put out more than they are rated for, and they almost always use less than their nameplate electricity usage indicates. So EER is in essence a crock of shit. I'm just gonna see what kind of coil cleaning action we get on this. I'm not expecting anything too crazy, but you never know. Sometimes they surprise you. It would help if I'm actually if what I'm doing is actually in the camera. In the camera. That was a shout out to you, Jordan, if you're watching. I'm gonna try to get this really good because I'm only planning on doing 1 coat on it. I mean, I always say that, but I ended up doing usually 2 or 3 at least, sometimes 4 if it turns out to be a lot worse than I thought. This thing's only like this evaporator is only 2 layers thick, so it shouldn't really be too bad to do. Get as clean looking as I can. Put it up there like so. The only thing I can say about these, they look like they're a pain in the dick to restore with how tight everything is. And you would think that the 9000 BTU high efficiency series with the B series would be better since it's a lot, you know, a little bit bigger. Wrong. That looks like a freaking disaster to work on as well. Get this as good as I can. I wonder what the hell we're stuck on. This thing's kind of like, the lower wheel's moving pretty sluggish. I don't know if that's something caught in it or maybe a piece of debris. There you go. Now it's moving pretty freely. Good blower wheel. That's what I want. I don't want it to run into any more problems than I already have with this. Hoping it's going to be more or less of a wham bam thank you, man, because it's really not that bad. I pulled this out of the Wells Fargo building in downtown Pottsville in this corner of Center and Market Street. If you go on Google Maps, you can see prior dates. You can go back anywhere May 2019 or before. You're going to see all these still in there. There were a lot of them. If you go back far enough, you'll even see the Admiral that was in there that I have. Of course, the Admiral now is right there in my garage window, which you've all seen numerous times by now. Yeah, the Wells Fargo, but I held I think 72 air conditioners, 72 vintage ACs out of that building. I'll tell you what, it was a hell of an adventure. I'll say that. Yeah, I'm not getting much action here, but then I do have this. This is mixed pretty weak. Oh yeah. Might as well get this cleaned up too. Let it sit for a little bit. Put another coat on this base pan here. Nice and easy down each row of coils here. Yeah, I know it seems kind of monotonous and slow, but if you want to do it right, you got to do it. This would be an easy one, just a drain hole mod, some oil-based paint on the base pan. It's not really too sophisticated. Like I said, there's just a lot of shit crammed into a small space on these. I gotta get if I want to go any further, I gotta get that, well, if I want to go any further correctly, I should say, I really need to get the rear grill off and get at the condenser, you know, effectively. I can't believe I'm not getting much foaming action here. Crazy. Maybe I'm about to run out of fluid though. Maybe I'll mix the next batch up of New Bright up a little bit heavier. See what I can do. All right. This here is actually a diffuser for the C high Thinline. You have to have that because otherwise it'll be sucking the hot air back into it again instead of sucking cool outside air. I think I got that about as good as it's gonna get. Not much more peeling off of it. That's fine. Doesn't have to. A lot of pine needles for days though. That's alright. Nothing that won't come out. Yeah, I definitely need a stronger dose for that. Got all the mold off. That's just a black paint from the factory, which it's going to get another coat anyway of the black I use. So as far as I'm concerned, it's good enough. Good enough. Put that off to the side for now. That way it's out the way and won't get damaged. Putting most of the spare parts up here from it, so everything's all kind of in one place at least. Yeah. I'm sweating my ass off out here. So, little trick I'm gonna show you is that, and I thought it was bullshit, but one of the old head mechanics that I work with, very knowledgeable man, showed me a tip called shocking. I don't know what you're wondering. Here's one of the same thing I said. What the fuck is shocking? Well, shocking is when you have a stuck bolt or a rusted bolt. Sometimes you have this crud or rust, even sometimes in this case probably a rust build up between the threads. So if you give it a good blow, square on, sometimes it breaks some of it free. So that's called shocking. And actually, sometimes it's not 100%, but sometimes it's pretty effective. And I'm willing to try that before I drill that out or risk stripping the screws off. So all I'm going to do is give that nice square hit right there. I'm not going to be able to film it because I need both my hands here. So I'm going to put you down. You'll hear it though. So you don't got to beat the shit out of it. You just got to give it a little, another trick I usually use sometimes, I have a stuck screw, is I'll try to tighten it rather than loosen it. Just to, yep, see, look. And shocking worked. Although stripping a little bit. I really don't want that to happen, but in some cases there's not really much you can do about it. But as you can see, we definitely got it loose. So I'll keep tightening it back up, loosen it up a little bit, and I'll just grab some hardware off of the junk one, because some of the ones I get off, one of my contacts is Brian down in Virginia. He lives in a complex that has hundreds of these, and sometimes they're so, because they're installed through the wall, sometimes they're so rotted out that you can't even, well, I mean you could, but it's not feasible, especially with how many of them are there. So yeah, there's that. I got that off. It's not terribly stripped, could be used again. So yeah, I'm good with it. And these are like a number 12 screw too, so I don't have any extras, so I really don't want to waste any parts if I don't have to. So yeah, so now it's time to do the coil cleaner on the condenser. I can get this cleaned up and get started on painting the case and the rear grille and redoing the Pentastar logo. All right, so one thing about Chryslers is, other than Ford Philco, Chrysler's the only unit I know to put a protective film over their condensers for coil rot prevention. Now, it was a common practice back in the 1950s and earlier on. They basically all had it, but late 60s and even the early 50s, the late 60s and early 70s, the last two brands I know to do that were Chrysler Airtemp and Ford Philco. That being said, yeah, you want to be a little careful with your coil cleaner so you don't keep that protective film off. That's it for now. Yes, Chrysler definitely needed a stronger batch of coil cleaner mixed up for sure, ain't no doubt about it. This is another coat in the GE's rear grille, another coat in the Chrysler's rear grille and the case, as well as the condenser. I'm getting ready to hose it off. Looks like the Tecumseh AK compressor. I'll try to get a date code off of it for you, unless you guys can see in there, but let me spray it off quick. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Now those are some clean coils. Hawk, tuh, hawk, tuh. Hawk, tuh. Sit on that thing. That took a lot of paint off. Good. Means I can give it all a fresh, brand new coat. If you look, there's still a little bit of crap in there, but it's still really clean. I think that's about as good as far as I'm going to go with this one. If you look, there is still a few imperfect sections of evaporators. I'll go through it one more time. Why not? I can't leave it like that. I got to get it out of there. I always say that I'm going to leave it, but I never do. I always get it till there's no more shit on it. Especially if I'm giving it to somebody else. If I'm giving it to somebody else, I usually go the extra mile on cleaning it up. Especially for somebody that I know. Now, if I do a full restoration, that's a different ball game. You don't even want to know how expensive that's going to get. We're talking about $500 at least for my time. For a cleaning, something like this, it'll be about $200 for this unit right here. I see it does have oil ports on the motor in the back, so I'll be sure to put some oil in that as well. That goes without saying, of course. Yep, it comes to compressor, the only way to go. So you know you gotta go and keep rinsing and more foam's coming out. Yeah. Look at that shit. Excellent. Like I said, I always give it a fresh coat anyway, so it's actually making it better on my part. I know some critics may say this is excessive, but to me I say it's just what I need. We're getting pretty damn near close. Actually, most of that crud's out of there. I think it is. I actually think it is good. And most of that crap's out of there now. Maybe straighten it up with the coil comb when the coil comes through. But other than that, it's ready to rock and roll, I think. Let it clean out, clean it up with the oil-based Rust-Oleum. You must use oil-based Rust-Oleum paint. I'm gonna go factory dark black like it is now, jet black. Do a drain hole modification in it, and paint the case up, lube the controls up, check the terminals in the back of the compressor, make sure that's good, lube the motor. Just your basic day one, you know, common sense, elementary level shit that has to be done to it. Never cheap out in the basics. Takes 2 minutes to oil the motor, a minute to spray some deoxit in the thermostat and selector switch, and in this case probably about 5 to 10 minutes to check the terminals. But trust me, that's time well spent. You're saving yourself very easily preventable possible failures. Just by taking an extra 10 minutes to give it a once over. It'd be stupid not to do it. And see, I still was able to save the protective film on the condenser coils. Excellent. Excellent. That's how it's done, folks. Alright, look at that. That's what I want. I'm getting the rest of that crap off there. That way I'll have a nice, good, oh yeah. I'll have a nice, clean metal surface to paint to. If you paint over chipping paint, what's going to happen is the paint underneath is still going to chip, and it's going to take your new paint off with it. So it's in your best interest to go the extra mile and take every step you can to get all the old paint off. Hell yeah. Look at that. I even got most of the corroded. That even got ate most of the corrosion off of it. Look at that. That's wonderful. I'm still going to give it a fresh coat of paint, but you don't have to now. Now you can tell it's nice, shiny silver like it's supposed to be. Still going to give it a coat though, make it look brand new. I want everything that goes out my door and into somebody's house, especially if they're cutting it through the wall, like both of these are getting installed through the wall. I want to make damn sure that they're as close to brand new looking as I can get them. Like I said, that's a reflection of my work. Which I take. I know some of you might find it hard to believe. I actually take it pretty seriously. You have to. You don't want to fuck people over because they're going to remember that they're going to remember you fucking them over. And if they ever find an old unit that you might want, or if they want something else, you could potentially burn a bridge and not have them call you back. Like whenever somebody gets whenever I buy an old unit off of somebody, I always give them my information and always make good conversation, because especially with people that come across them all the time, if you show up acting like an asshole, they're never going to call you again. They're never going to tell you that hey, I found another old unit. Do you want it? No, they're going to go right to scrapping it. But if you make a good impression on them, they're going to be like, hey, that guy was pretty cool. I'm going to keep him in mind next time I find a unit, and I will call him back. Common courtesy, it goes a long way. Yep. Okay, that's pretty much all I got for tonight. I put the last coat of Nubro on that to try to get the rest of that corrosion off. I gotta give this Chrysler here another rinse down, and maybe the G another rinse down as well. I'm not gonna wait until I get them put back together to upload it. I'm gonna upload like the cleaning progress. I should give you guys an idea of how it's done. That's my goal here. Fuck. And yeah, I'm out of breath. It's hot out here. So yeah, I just want to give you a rundown, show you again, some of what's involved especially for those people that think that people like us that our work should be free. It's not free. Our time is money. So this is what goes into it. Like I said, it's a labor of love. You never get out of it what you put into it, as far as finances go. What you do get is years of reliable service that units of today can only dream of giving you. And there's some pride behind it too. You're preserving American history is what you're doing. So once I get these units all put back together, I've already showed you guys paint, and I've already showed you guys drain hole mods and shit like that. When I get these units back together and finished up and all painted up and ready for installation, like plug and play ready for installation, I will definitely be going over them again. I'll do each one individually, show you the fully restored product. And I shouldn't say fully restored, because in order to fully restore it, that means gutting every single piece, all new hardware, all new caps, everything. So I can't really say it's fully restored. I should say cosmetically restored. And a very 100% clean bill of health. So that being said, peace out, guys. Catch you next time. I'm wrapping it up out here for the night. I'm tired, and yeah, that's it. Peace out. Any questions, comments, concerns, drop a line. I'll gladly answer any questions that you guys may have. Thanks for watching as usual. See you around. Peace. From 2024.